Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with another online multiplayer team. And today we'll be showcasing an Arkham team.
And that's for the very good reason that the Arkham pack was back for a while. And I think it's good to illustrate just why this team is so good and why the pack is so good. Because even though you don't get the same guys every time, the chance of getting a whole bunch of different really, really good characters makes the pack probably one of, if not the best right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Arkham Knight, the Arkham Knight, which is
Arkham
funny.
Knight, the Arkham Knight.
Yeah, so, you know, I like to have a basic damage dealer, the special specialist, and a tank. He doesn't have enough health to be a good tank. He doesn't really, and actually he was fully augmented. Catwoman's only her critical chance and damage are augmented, and Arkham Knight is also fully augmented. So Arkham Knight isn't really good enough to be anything but a basic damage dealer, but his gear lets him, it's a nice piece of gear, because it gives him both the damage boost, unblockable chance, and increased crit damage.
Yeah.
So no big dangers here, except they're going to start with 1 bar of power. Arkham Knight Catwoman, the temptation is to put her as a special specialist because she's got such great damage over time. The problem with that sometimes is because you've got so many big specials evaders, and nobody really has a lot of health in this team. I mean, Arkham Knight, Batman is pretty close, but it's a shame because his loadout for special 1 damage is so good that he could be anything, actually. He could be basic damage dealer, he could be a tank, because you could pick things out of his Waynetech boost to make him a better tank. But I think with Arkham Knight Catwoman, if we don't need to bring her in, she stays on the sideline, and she does enough damage over time, potentially, that if it came to it and she was the last one standing, you could still do some pretty good damage with her.
And I don't think we've ever mentioned this before. I think they do a lot of stuff right with Injustice. The Waynetech boost for Arkham Knight Batman is a really, really interesting passive, and it also does a really good job of representing Arkham Knight Batman. Because kind of the whole difference between Arkham Knight and Arkham Origins was that he comes in with just way better gear, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the big points. For the first bit of the game, you're playing with the old suit, and then they kind of airdrop in the new one, and he's got a bunch of new stuff. I think that's a brilliant way to represent how he's been upgraded.
Now, that was probably not the most efficient way to play that particular team, but it was just a chance to play with Arkham Knight a little bit. Because I think the fastest way to finish a fight with this team would be to take advantage of League of Assassins' knives on Arkham Knight Batman, tag him in immediately on a guy who doesn't have special evasion. So what we're looking for is Mother Box or Riddler's Cane. Bring in Arkham Knight, use a special one over and over. The more people are on the other team, the better his special one does, because it does a huge amount of damage, and there's a 50% splash damage with League of Assassins' knives. The biggest problem with taking advantage of it fully is that his special one is back and loaded, so the last few hits do the most damage, and a lot of times they're knocked out already before they can even take the last few hits. So either they got to be knocked out real fast, where the last hit will hit the next guy coming in, or if they've got a huge amount of hit, like somebody with a 4th wheel gear would be a really good target. But I really want to play with Arkham Knight. Yeah, you know what? His rhythm is... It might take some getting used to learn what his rhythm is like. Alright, that's not ideal either. Yeah, his unblockable is not processing that often.
That's too bad.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is a good example. So he's going to do Cloak of Destiny stun. He's got the loadout that we normally stick on Batgirl, but it means that every time his special 1 connects, he's got a chance of doing extra damage. Oh, that's exactly what we were talking about before in our last Q&A. How he's got a huge refractory period after his special 1, which makes it hard, and because he didn't have another special to do right away, he was stuck. He was just totally vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and his unblockable, Metahuman Flash's unblockable after doing special was, well, it wasn't that much of a problem. I mean, if you look at it really, if you wanted to build a team out of around any one of these 3, whether it was as a special specialist or basic damage dealer, it wouldn't be that hard. I mean, we've done it before with Arkham Knight Catwoman, I think. Decent speed. And I think we're seeing reasonable mix of different teams too, I think, and that's one of the benefits of Breakthrough, where it's unless you're playing like the absolute maxed out, the newest overpowered characters, the mix of people who have gotten breakthroughs and augmentations means that now you're seeing a huge variety. You don't have the same magnets drawing defensive fights.
Yeah, which is good. More variety is always a good thing.
Oh, and you know what, too? Speaking of breakthroughs, and I forgot to mention this in our Q&A this week, is that one of the things about breakthrough, and which, if you look at the numbers, the amount of time it would take you to completely break through every character is pretty much close to a year, and that's assuming that every time there's a breakthrough, you have somebody that needs breakthrough.
Yeah, that's eligible. Like, they never do repeats. And you run out of bronze, gold, and silvers at the same time.
And it's totally not true, because bronze and silver events are actually more common than gold events.
Yeah.
So it would be such a dick move if they actually stop supporting Injustice, the game we're playing now, and put all their energies in Injustice 2, not long after they'd introduced something that would have taken a year to actually
fully complete, to max out a collection.
Right.
Though, to be fair, I guess you could say the same thing about the introduction of augments. Right? Like, it's still not realistic for people to max augmented everybody.
But when they started doing the augmentations, the death of the game was not on the horizon.
Yeah. Well, possible death.
Alright, so nothing particularly dangerous. Maybe Catwoman with Ibis Stick, right? Because she's gonna... Her damage over time doesn't rinse, and she's going to do a little bit of extra burn damage with the Ibis Stick.
Yeah.
So maybe she's a little bit of a problem. I don't see anything particularly bad here. It just means, because Injustice 2 Superman is at the beginning, it means we haven't been doing it anyways, but we don't tag in Arkham Knight Batman right away. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get the rhythm. He's not...
Bad. Ouch, man, getting beaten on pretty hard.
Alright, so this is where it's a good idea to have her with Force World Gear, because she's going to do a bunch of healing. She's going to be our tank to absorb damage like that. And so she can take our enemies' damage over time without taking too much trouble. Wow.
And are you going to burn your last special? Oh,
nah, not going to waste it on. So the good thing is that one thing I've noticed about Injustice 2 Superman, when he tags in against an Arkham Knight Batman in his refractor period, if he's got a special, his special 1 takes so long to start, the latency on it is so long, that I actually have time to block. Which you saw right there.
Yeah. Because he comes in and he doesn't instantly special, he kind of waits a little bit.
Yeah. Because he's strutting around, he's saying, oh yeah, I'm so cool. I know. It's like when he poses, right, when you break his shield. I'm just so cool that it doesn't even... Oh, it's got pretty much similar loadout. It's funny,
I don't even feel it.
I don't even feel it. It's not, I'm coming in... it's like when the villain stops in any kind of, like a movie, comic book, or whatever, stops just to strut around and tell you, this is my plan, and I'm going to beat you. And that's a cliche where the...
And now I'm going to turn on a huge laser that's going to move very slowly right up to your crotch.
I never understood how, like, Ares is just, like, not even a consideration now. Like, there's no way he's going to build up the second bar of power. And if without that, he's, like, nothing. Like, he's not even...
Yeah, because with the second bar of power, he's essentially a potential one-shot, right?
Yeah.
But without that, he really doesn't have much of anything. Because he's such a glass cannon.
Yeah, that's too bad. Gotta break his shield anyways, he's stunned.
See, he goes from stunned, and then you hit him to break his shield, and somehow... he's de-stunned from that.
What I like about Arkham Knight Catwoman, she's got the same rhythm... big fingers. She's got the same rhythm as, See, there's a pause, right? I was able to block. She's got the same rhythm as all the other Catwomans, and her swipe combo is actually really easy to juggle. I'm still not quite getting the hang of Arkham Knight the Arkham Knight.
Yeah. That's a funny name.
Yeah, I guess out of all the characters, the weakest one here is probably Arkham Knight. He's got a great his tap combo does extra damage, so if you want to gear him for a combo ender, that's good. Because he's got extra hits. But he's too soft to be a tank. His specials aren't good enough to be a special specialist. And if I could figure out a way to make him more effective as a basic damage dealer, I think he'd be a lot more fun to play.
Yeah.
See, look at that. Nice rhythm.
And he's down for the count.
And if you do... Here's a good example, too. If you do your special in rhythm with your juggling, so if you do the special instead of doing swipe combo on somebody that you can actually juggle, you don't need to block. You don't need to... You know how it's like block and punish, right? Where you block and you interrupt their combo to get an unblocked special. Which is okay, if you even have a little bit of health to do it, but sometimes I would just rather not bother. Alright, so he's dangerous that way, right? He does a lot of damage. If he gets a few hits in, if he blocks... And Aquaman's always been, to me, the most difficult because he's just so fast.
Yeah.
And we got a plan to not have any bars of power when Rebirth Raven tags in. Okay. Not particularly difficult team. Famous last words? Not a particularly difficult team. Yeah. So, yeah, these guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of, I guess, synergy aside from Catwoman taking advantage of having Arkham Knight teammates and do more damage over time. But they're just really powerful.
And I think really the main thing that's holding back this team right now is how familiar you are with Arkham Knight, the Arkham Knight, right?
Yep.
I feel like it's not that's...
Yeah, Arkham, just a point there. Arkham Knight, I wasn't actually interested in getting damage done. I wanted his health to come back up. I knew there's a chance that Raven was going to tag in, and I didn't want her to be taking away my power.
Those Enchantress Skulls. I think Enchantress Skulls were better than we initially thought, right? Just because of how they screw up rhythm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. They have a lot more value, I think, as that... breaking up the rhythm than it does for the amount of damage, but it's still pretty good overall.
Yeah, the amount of damage is worthwhile as an ability, but breaking up the rhythm is really what makes it special and what makes it stand out as an ability, as opposed to just being essentially a damage buff, right?
Okay.
And the skulls do life drain, don't they?
I think they can. It's the potential. Does
Yeah.
it always do it? Yeah, so alright, we're already in the championship rounds. This is going pretty quick. Which is just, I guess, an illustration of just how good this team is. Although, I'll tell you what, the Ares Batgirl team, if you gear it differently now to take it, sort of to counter. Yeah, so nothing special. Deathstroke is going to be interesting, because if he comes in with a special one, then we might have to sacrifice somebody, but that's the case.
Yeah,
where,
if he gets unblocked,
yeah,
right?
Catwoman would be good. So I was talking about something, I can't remember now, because I saw, it's shiny. Ooh.
Yeah.
I got distracted.
Begin.
It was something.
I'm sure it was important. I'm sure it was very gripping. Alright, oh, he's got the no crit damage. That's the boost he got.
It's unfortunate for us, you guys can rewind the video. We can't rewind our lives. You'll be able to tell us exactly what we were missing because you can go back 10 seconds, but we'll have no clue.
Alright, yeah, again, I just wanted his health to be a bit higher because he's a little soft. And it doesn't do enough damage really to make it worth trying the effort to take a little bit of damage and try to get it unblocked.
Oh, nice.
Oh, this is perfect. Stunned. Alright, so this is where he really shines. 22,000 each. Nice. And half of it is going... Oh, nice again.
Oh, perfect. And there goes the Resurrect, and he's down to 0 health, and now he is dead. Perfect.
Oh!
And look at that splash damage.
See, alright, so we had to sacrifice one person.
Who cares? At that point, who cares? Oh.
He's gonna be down to 1.
See, if he hadn't blocked that, I would say that was close to the perfect round for this team.
It's not bad. Championship rounds. Smooth.
There we go. So that was the team. Thank you guys so much for watching. Especially everybody who watched all the way through. And we'll see you guys next time. Komoda.
Alright, there you go. Transfer it over. I will make a thumbnail.